When Rick James hit the scene, he was like no other rock artist that ever came before him or even after him. He had his own peculiar institution that evolved not only rock, but what he learned at Motown and also what he learned playing with rock bands while in exile in Canada during the Vietnam War. So when he finally met me, he had already purchased a couple of my jackets, suede and deerskin fringe leather jackets from Billy Martin's Western Wear Boutique on Madison Avenue. And this was back in 1980, 81, somewhere around then. So when I meet him, we had an opportunity to collaborate on where he's going next with his fashions, how he wants to look, what kind of role he wanted to play. And one of the first things he inquired about from me was, did you make some leather pants and some crazy tops and jackets for Iggy Pop? But he'd throw that off and he'd be shirtless on stage, hot, sweaty, blood, tattoos. I said, I remember every thrill-packed, amazing episode and adventure with Iggy Pop. I was at most of his shows, and it was at Max's Kansas City in the early days before he ran off with David Bowie and became another legend in punk rock. But Rick James wanted to use some of that influence, some of that cutting-edge music that he heard with the rock and rollers in Canada and the punk rockers from the UK, and incorporate that into his sound. But he had to carry the image. So once again, when we collaborated on costumes, he always liked the fact that I used to wear leather riding chaps and a Western shirt or some fringy nonsense, whatever, that he thought was okay, that's cool. But when I put them together and he saw himself in it, it became a whole nother world. But then he loses the shirt and creates a whole new motif for himself as the Shirtless Bandit rock and roll funk wonder. Once he did that, he made the cover of some of the best magazines and worst magazines in existence. He was talked about by everyone, but yet the girls couldn't wait to see him take his shirt or the jacket off that was made with the chaps, which looked equally as dramatic and hot, etc. Black with white trim, the white fringes. But he'd throw that off. If I was there, I'd have to go retrieve the jacket because the jacket might end up anywhere, because I've taken note that sometimes the jackets disappear. In any event, though, once that shot was taken, that look, that whole idea, it became an iconic image of Rick James. And once again, he had a chance to illustrate not only his sexual prowess, his body, his physique, but also this new energy he was creating that coincided with what was happening with the hip-hop and punk rock atmosphere. And it was a whole new wave of energy and music. But Rick James, like so many, was born with no state of mind. He was blind to the ways of mankind. God was smiling at Rick, but he was clowning him too, because only God knew what Rick James was going to do.